down in Kent.
When you go down Orpin, knock at number 1. See your mother Riley scratching at a bum with T-I-I, T-I-I.
I'm a Londoner and grew up in streets like this in the years between the wars. We played our games, met our mates here. And the fabric of our life, I suppose, was all tied up in that street. In the summertime, it would be so hot with the high buildings on either side. It was like a greenhouse without a roof. And the only sort of relief we got from it all, from the heat and the dust, was when the water cart used to come round. The high point of the year for us kids was to go for 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks holiday picking hops. The farmer would be down in the hop fields checking those hops, and when they were ready for us to pick, he'd send us our letter, our invitation to go hopping down in Kent.
Tickets for the train would be in it, the number of the hut you'd have, and you'd be all excited, you know.
We'd go to the doctor and get a sickness certificate, make up some sore throat or something. The doctor, he got so used to it that when you went in, he knew what you was going in for, so he used to sort of sign it for a month or so.
Hopping really revolved around the hopping box. We couldn't afford to buy all our stuff when we went down to Kent.
You start getting it together about July, buying bits and pieces, tins of food, and putting it away.
Every little bit extra that you had, you sort of put by to take with you. And it used to be, don't you dare touch that, that's for hop picking. And God help you if you did happen to take anything out.
Then the clothes would go into it. All the bonnets, all the coats, the Wellington boots, the whole rigmarole of clothes, things that you would need for 6 weeks.
That's it.
There's some more pieces I've got to find to put in curtains and that, you know.
Oh yeah, don't forget the curtains.
What made our hopping was the fact we got a full hopping box. And if you got a full hopping box, you could go away with a happy frame of mind and not have to worry. It's actually the night before we go, and Mum's just told us all we've got to go to bed. If we don't go upstairs and get to bed quick and be quiet, because we make a noise, we're just not going. And that would break our hearts. So up we go, and we try to go to sleep, but it's still light. It's 10:30, and it seems as though the night's taken a year. But at last Mum said, you can come down now. You can come down because we're ready to put the trunk on the cart outside. And we were ready to get off to the station. We had to use everything that could move to get all the stuff up to the station. And never mind a baby.
London Bridge, after, you know, pushing your luggage up there, she'd get a ticket for herself, but a platform ticket for you, right? So that you got through at London Bridge, and then when you was on the train, you was allowed to look at, well, out the window and run around, but when the ticket collector got on, you was shoved under the seat, because you wasn't paid for. See, and then when you got out the other end, she used to say to you, you go through first, past the click, and tell him, Mummy's coming behind. Of course, there were so many kids going through, all of them were saying, Mummy's coming behind. He just didn't know which one to grab hold of, like, you know, and it could have been any mother behind. If they don't know which one's your mother, you used to run up the road and wait in the bushes, for, you know, the bushes for your mother to come by. And that's how we got away with it, by hiding under the seat.
This is just the kind of old train that we used to go down hopping in. And you look out and you see a green field, and then someone will say, here's a cow. Here's a cow. I've seen the first cow this year. I've seen the first cow. And then it'd be, you'd come along, chung, 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 go out through Bromley North. And then you get to Pratt's Bottom. And then you get to Knockholt. What a name, Pratt's Bottom and Knockholt. But you'd go through them. And you get to Tunbridge. And you get nearer to Paddock Wood, where we were all going to stop. Oh, the lovely stations. And the feeling of it, the excitement rising.
far as hop pickers were concerned, I mean, there was no regular service or anything, naturally, and we always left in the early hours in the morning. It could be 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. And then you had to make way for all the regular trains. So it would be stop, start, stop, start. I mean, you might wait somewhere for 20 minutes and more before you could move on.
You was let free, you know, to go everywhere. And then your head was sticking out that window, and by the time you got to the other end, you had all soot smuts underneath here, and all tear, you know, running down here where your mother kept saying, stick your head in. You know, you'll look black when we get there.
When you got 2,000 hop pickers come into the village, they all came for one job, they all wanted to be out, they all came into the village, and suddenly you're packed.
I once asked a lady, why did she come hop picking? And her reply was, you can't buy fresh air in London.
A certain amount of preparation had to be done for them, of course. We had wire netting barricades, which we brought up and tacked on the front of the counter, and everything in the shop was pushed round behind these barricades. Not a thing was left in the shop.
They used to arrive on the trains from London, what we called hoppers specials. And we used to go in little gangs of our own village kids to see the trains come in. It was really amusing.
The farmer would send a wagon, a horse and wagon, obviously with his employee, and as a lad I used to like to go with one of them. We put all their luggage on the wagon, and the children, and mums had to walk because very seldom did the dads come, very seldom. Wheeler's Farm. This is going to be our home for the next 6 weeks.
You'd open the box, you take out all the blankets and the things you had in the box, turn the box over, use it as a table or a chair.
You put some nails up, wouldn't you, to hang up the cups and the
saucers.
My mum had a wooden box, not like this, same size, but it had a hole in the lid, burnt with a poker, and a hole down here, so that my father could put a chain through it, both ends, put a padlock on it, so it wouldn't come undone. Of course, when we got down hop picking, we naturally unpacked it and put the padlock up on the shelf. But the hole was there all the time during hop picking, so one evening I came in from the hop field and Mum gave me tea, and I sat down over the hole, my backside, and unfortunately there was a wasp in it, and it had crept up through the hole, just stung me on the bum, and up went the dinner, and me with everything went up, all on the floor everywhere. And then, of course, they said you've got to get it out, you know, you suck a bee sting out, or a wasp, but no one's going to suck that out your backside, are they?
You'd make your bed up with sticks that when the farmer brought them to you were all in bundles, and they were called faggots. Well, you'd lay these all out as flat as you could so that there was no pieces sticking up. And then on top of those, you used to lay a thick layer of straw. Once you'd done that, we then used to try to make the place as tidy as we possibly could because we had to live in here.
Right, we'll do the bolsters, the pillars. Of that.
Farmers made hard work of it. This year,
yeah.
It's tight.
Still once they're done.
Well, when we first started, they was very high, and it was a sort of a step to get up it. And during the hop picking, it slowly went down and down and down. By the end of hop picking, the straw was underneath and you was on bare boards.
Toilets were very glamorous, you know. You had this sort of tin hutment with a hole in the ground and a plank thrown across it, and you sat on this plank and got through the hole, hopefully. But you could never rely on the thing being cleared out or anything else, and of course kids used to delight in standing in the background and picking up a clod of earth and crashing it on top of the roof, you know, so people would shoot out the door in all sorts of undress.
I hated this business of lying on the straw.